second outside zone into the third. Oh, buddy!
The Stratman, beautiful views, mountains. Utah is known for many things, including the 7th round of the Formula Drift Pro Championship and the final round of the Pro Spec Championship. When Utah was first added to the calendar in 2022, it was a brilliant addition. It was a fast road course at a great venue and had great tandem. Every single year since going to the track has changed. The first year, there were 3 outside zones and 2 inside clips. There were great battles, but also some runaway games and going really slow to win. In 2023, they got rid of the second inside clip and made that corner a long outside zone, which created some great battles, but also a lot of accidents, especially in the first corner, because you could just chop off the chase driver and people would just slam into each other. And this year, if you're getting the pattern, they're going to take out the other inside clip, making it all inside zones, as well as shrinking the run-up. However, that was just a test, because there's already quite a few problems with the new layout. Many people are debeating through the first corner because you have to go over rumble strips, and drift cars don't like rumble strips. So will FD run this new section? Who knows, but in my opinion, probably not, because they've shown new sections before and reverted back to old sections because of certain reasons / problems that the drivers have. So today, I'm going to be walking through FD Utah with the 2023 layout, and I'm going to be showing you how to master it. But with that, let's get right into the video. So this is FD Utah. This is a very accurate version from my boy Faint Visuals. It is paid, unfortunately, but he's a great creator, creates great mods, and you should definitely go support him and drive this great track. Now again, we do not have the 2024 version because we frankly don't know if it's going to be an actual thing. It was just being tested / we honestly don't know. So as you can see, there's the big long run up and we have the initiation point. I like to initiate along the rumble strips or just before them, and I like to initiate at the K&N sign or the 2 cone. Now here, it's really easy to misgauge where you want to initiate because you can initiate too late and you can fly off, or too soon and go super inside, as you can see by some of my tire marks. So this is our first inside clip, and here you want to put your front tires right before the rumble strips. You want to go through it very quickly. You're going to be entering in at over 100 miles per hour, so you don't want to hold up in this zone too long. You want to get through it rather quickly. And then we have our first outside zone. And here you are allowed to drop tires on the rumble strip, which I have taken full advantage of, as you can see. And here, again, you don't want to hang up here too long. How I like to go through it is I like to arc really nicely through this first inner clip and the second outside zone. Now you don't want to necessarily straight line it. However, you do want to have a decent amount of momentum moving through the corner so you can get to the next outside zone, because what a lot of people do, they chuck big angle into the first corner, big angle into this zone, and then they got to pull out a bunch of angle in this little transition area into the next outside zone, which looks, quite frankly, very sloppy. So set your angle going through the first corner. It'll carry you through this zone and you will transition about mid-track to track left into the next zone. This next zone is a bit of a doozy. As you can see, the runoff is just dirt. There's no wall, there's no grass. It's just the white line and the dirt. There's a little runoff. There's a little runoff of pavement, but honestly, not too much. So here, as you can see, I like to transition before the zone starts. The reason being is I like to set up early and it arcs me well through the zone. I don't have to chop a bunch of speed coming right into it and hope I don't fly off or go too early and then I shoot inside. I like to be decently early, not too early, but I'd say a solid 10 feet early before the zone. And my left rear tire should be riding along the rumble strip, very close to the tarmac, but slightly on the rumble strip, because when I get on throttle, it'll push the car forward a little bit and I'll be right on this outer white line. And here you want to be heavily committed to the throttle as well as committed to the angle you have and just ride this outside zone. As you can see, it is very long. So you want to use throttle commitment, a little bit of throttle manipulation. As you can see, if I'm on throttle the whole time, I will go past the white line. But if I use a little bit of throttle manipulation, so just feathering the throttle a little to keep my angle and my trajectory, I won't go off track. You want to go all the way through this zone, and then you want to transition off of the zone pretty much. I'd say track left to mid-track still. So to reiterate, I come out of this zone and I'm transitioning about here. I'm still pretty track left, but I'm transitioning across the track. And what that does is it transitions me and sets me up really early, really nicely along this white line near this access road. And here is the final outside zone. And here I want to be riding the rumble strip again. I don't want to have a tire on the rumble strip, but as you can see, I've done that quite a few times. But what that's led me to is to go off track. So what you want to do is you want to transition from track left, you want to transition across track, ride the white line slash a little bit on the rumble strip all the way through the last outer zone. And again, here it's super easy to drop tires because there's no wall, there's no barrier, it's just tarmac and then dirt. So again, you want to use a little bit of throttle manipulation. Don't have too much angle, have a decent amount of angle where you can hold it throughout the corner, start to wind out the corner at the end of the zone. Now, frankly, I know that's frowned upon to wind out angle at the end of the zone. However, my biggest issue is if I keep the same amount of angle through the entire zone, towards the end, I'll begin to drop tires and I will go off track. So about 15 feet before the zone ends, I like to wind out about 10 degrees of angle so my trajectory is straight forward because it is the end of the corner that goes to a straightaway. And as you can see, I use the rumble strip to exit the corner and then I go far track left to do so. And that's a pretty basic track walk of FD Utah at Utah Motorsports Camp. So now let's have a quick drive of the track, just getting through it, and then we'll slow it down and look at each corner and each section step by step while actually driving. Now, before we get going, let's take a look at this car, which is an HGK GT86 with the Rhino hood. It's got the big old V8 under there. Now, this car was built by my boy Ranso, and you could drive it next month by supporting Boundless Racing, my new company. I have many plans for it and plan to give back to the car community, but our first phase is creating a paid community. And in our lowest tier, which is $7 a month, you get access to dozens of cars and dedicated servers for those cars. And this car is going to be one of them. Now, there are a few problems with it. There's some reflection issues on the inside and that gauge doesn't work, but that's all going to be fixed before it's released next month. And again, you could drive it for just $7. And here is the run breakdown of FD Utah. So you go through the cones as you usually do, and I like to go mid-track to have a big flick into the first corner. I like to pull the handbrake at around that K&N sign, the 2-cone, have a wide arc into the first corner, and as you can see here, I'm moving with a lot of momentum, not really scrubbing any speed, moving through inside clip 1, outside zone 1, and then here through outside zone 2. Once again, pull the handbrake, slow down, dropped a little tire there, but thankfully didn't get sucked into the dirt, because that's a big issue. In the dirt, you're just in the GT radial sign over there. It's crazy. But continuing with my momentum, using a little bit of throttle manipulation, transitioning mid-track or track left into the last outer zone. And here I'm riding that white line before the zone, setting myself up nice and early and finishing off the course really, really nicely. And that is how to drift FD Utah. And if you enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, share with a friend who also drives this track and might suck a little at it. But all jokes aside, I hope you found this video valuable. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, make sure to give a like and a subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video because I'm making these every single week, baby. With that said, hope you guys enjoy and I'll catch you in the next video.